Yeah. So finally, I'm live. Sorry, there were some technical difficulties. That's why it took some time. So the other day, I did a video as my followers of my channel know why India is such a great country. India helped in World War II, not just America. Okay, so say Hind, if you're an Indian, be a proud and patriotic Indian. 2.5 million Indians fought for your freedom in World War II and for the freedom of Britain, America also, because Hitler could have threatened anyone. The whole world. Always be proud and patriotic Indian. Indian soldiers fought for Britain, even though Britain was trying to subjugate India here. India fought for Britain, for Europe, for America, for the whole world, and along with America, we liberated Europe and we saved the world. So don't forget that great glory of India, which I will always proudly say. But today I have many American friends, and I want to also explain why this my second favorite country, and not without very good reason, in my opinion, is America. Because America, no doubt, was the primary contributor toward the victory in World War One, in World War Two. Because India, of course, India had 2.5 million soldiers, which is a great accomplishment, but India didn't have that military strength, that technological superiority which America had, and which was definitely, and the more you study, the more you understand, definitely one of the reasons why America entering the world turned the tide of war in favor of the Allied forces. Okay, so now I'm going to just quickly go over a few reasons why America is such a great country. Now, the first thing, besides having the strongest military in the world, which we know of, which is already such a fearsome accomplishment, and that has brought peace to the whole world. President Reagan's policy was peace through strength, and it's a really great policy, and it brought peace during the time of communist persecution and World War III. So even today, many people don't really understand what communism was. Maybe we'll have a separate video to explain that. But today, but yeah, America was the only one communists ever feared, the only one. And America always stood for freedom. Not to say Americans are perfect or anything, but America, Poland, also England was on the right side against communism. So that time the USSR was communist. Now it is mostly come back to freedom. Russia is traditionally an Orthodox Christian country. So the atheistic Bolshevik communism was an aberration, just a temporary period in history. Now it's come out of that for the most part. So now communism is mainly in China. So of course there are conflicts between China and America. If America is on the side of freedom, so China, because China right now we all know what COVID was and how much the world suffered. And so there are conflicts between America and China also, and between India and China also. We know how they harass the Indian soldiers. But we want peace. We always want peace with everyone. Okay, though we are forced to have our eyes open and to look at the reality in the world, we want peace with everyone. America has been a great defender of peace and freedom, both for Americans and for the whole world. And so everyone we should really be included. They were our allies during World War II. Don't forget that. I mentioned it. It's a good point when I'm speaking to Americans that Indians fought alongside Americans. Also, Americans and Indians are allies, just like Americans and Britishers, Americans and Israelites, and so on. And India is a valuable ally of America in Asia. And also America, as we'll see in a fifth point, America has welcomed, I think, the most Indians of any other country. 5 million Indian Americans have with their 300 million population. So just a small percent, of course, not even 2%, 330%, maybe 330 million, or maybe 1.5%, just a small percent, maybe 20,000 or so in every American state. I don't know about that, but still, it is not insignificant. They've shown that love, that welcoming. That's what makes them such a great people, such a prosperous, successful people. So we can learn from them. We are $3 trillion. They are $20 trillion economy. I want India to come up to $30 trillion. Many of my educational videos on CAT, CFA, FRM, and all, how we can come up to becoming a great nation, just like America is. And we don't have to pull any nation down. We can uplift and exalt and elevate ourselves first, and we can learn from nations which are already successful. What is it they are doing right? So the first point I want to mention is, since there are maybe 5 to 15 points I've written, how many minutes shall I have this? Maybe 1.5 hour video, so about 5 to 6 minutes for every point. That's it. So the first point, America is the most prosperous economy in the whole world. You want to succeed in life, look to America. The only country that is about $20 trillion, is nearly 7 times more than India is. Okay, India is about $3 trillion, so 7 times more than India is, and they have 1/4 of our population. We have a 140 crore population. They have 25 crore, 35 crore, or 350 million population. So they are per capita, they're nearly 30 to 35 times better than us currently. Okay, how did all that come? Did they? It's not that they exploited anyone or anything. It's that they worked hard. They worked really hard. Americans have worked hard, and they are hard workers. They work efficiently, and they're smart workers, and they give value to education, and they're disciplined and organized. One of my uncles said recently. So learn whatever is good, right? It's a bit late here, and I'm a little tired, but I wanted to make this video. I put it off a little while since I was sick. Now I don't want to put it off for much longer. So I want to explain. America is a very successful nation because it is a very hardworking nation and gives freedom to all. It gives believes in freedom, liberty, and it is a meritocracy. You can only be promoted. You can only rise through the ranks if you really deserve it. If you really work hard. If you really prove yourself. So the first point is America is the most prosperous and most successful country in the world. So we Indians should ask ourselves when we are going to be like that. When we are going to make it such a way that all Americans want to come to India. Today, virtually all Indians want to go to America, mainly for this reason that India, if not poor as such, India is not yet as rich as we could be, right? So it's the economy. Someone, I think Clinton said it's the economy stupid or something. And he was asked a reason for. I follow American politics also, just like I follow Indian politics, because it's important. We should know about the world. But what is what so America is a successful country because it works hard. Okay, so that's the thing we should try to emulate in our own country. We should try to rise at least to 20 trillion, if not 15 trillion, 20 trillion by 2030. Americans are already ahead of us. They are 20 trillion, and China also is ahead of us. We are sixth or seventh largest in the world, right? But they are number one, and China is number two. Okay, so that is the first point I want to say. America is a prosperous, successful country because it recognizes the value of hard work, recognizes the value of freedom, recognizes the value of independence, recognizes the value of education, and so on. Okay, very important. Now, the second point is America instituted religious freedom in a time of religious persecution. Freedom begets peace, truth, and love. So those who are aware of America's foundation, both in 1776, that was one time, and even before that, many years before that, in the days of the colonies and all, during that time, there was persecution in Europe. Up to relatively recently, there had been not much persecution, but so just shortly before America's founding, there was persecution. So the American founders decided there will be no persecution in America. There will be complete freedom given to all denominations, all Christian denominations, and all religions also. There will be no persecution. There will be freedom because they knew only with freedom a country can come up. In Europe, there was persecution at this time. And if there's going to be persecution, opposition, oppression, there will be no what to say, no prosperity for the country, no upliftment for the country, right? So these are the principles of success. They've been tried over now 2.5 centuries, and they have worked. First principle is hard work, and America often says we are one nation under God. It's written on their dollar also. The dollar is universally accepted and universally respected. The dollar, it's like the global currency already. And that dollar, what does it say? It says, "In God we trust." One of the pictures of the American founders, I don't know who, and in God we trust. So similarly, in India, we should have Mahatma Gandhi ji or Jawaharlal Nehru ji, his picture on the currency, on our rupee. We should also say, "In God we trust," right? When God honors that, God respects that. God makes nations that trust Him. The Bible says, "Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord." Okay, when God is recognized so much by a country, God pours His blessings also on the country. It's very important. Should value education, should work hard, should trust in God. Very important. Trust in God is one of the most important, and also should give freedom to all. Right, that nothing is gained by fostering divisions and strifes. And if there is divisions and strife, and if half the people hit the other half, or even 80% hit 20%, or whatever it is, that country cannot come up. Okay, that is a certainty. That is a conviction. If America exceeded even the European countries, America was founded late, right? 1776. It took some time from European countries also seeing America's example, say, okay, we're going to grant full religious freedom to all Christian denominations, to Jews, Muslims, Hindus, atheists, and others, right? So that came slowly, and it has worked. It has helped. It has succeeded. You have complete freedom to say whatever you want today in America, to believe whatever you want, and to evangelize if you wish to for your faith and your freedom and your religion. And so America also promotes many charitable causes, evangelism causes, promotes gospel. It promotes values, and of course there are we know not every American is perfect or anything like that. I'm not saying that. There are Hollywood values, there are maybe some indecent things in the films and all which don't represent all the American people. There's a great conflict going on, we can say. So either the traditional values, the pro marriage, the pro family values will win, or the anti-marriage, the let's live together, cohabitation values, those values now which have now only recently come. Because up to recently, if you see, not only America but virtually any Western country, up to maybe 50, 60 years ago, divorce was basically unheard of. Sex outside out of marriage was not practiced, and those were the things that really build the strong, prosperous economy. So if we want to succeed in life, we should have discipline. We should be organized. We should not have sex outside marriage. We should value families, right? We should consider children and families a blessing, not a curse. We should reject abortion, right? So there has been, like this last 60 years, there's been a great attack on traditional culture, traditional families, traditional well-being. And now only people are coming out of that. People are coming to realize, right? The pro-life movement is very strong in America. The movement that recognizes that abortion is infanticide. There's a heartbeat bill and all that's been recognized in many American states. We'll come to that little later on. So the second point I want to emphasize is America instituted religious freedom. I was just in a debate with some other very traditional people on this, and they were saying is religious freedom such a good thing. That's why there is confusion in the world and there is religious freedom. But in my opinion, religious freedom is very good. Okay, religious freedom is necessary, and then of course it depends on pastors and priests and teachers of religion. Okay, rabbis or imams or gurus or priests or whoever, whichever religion you are. Then it depends on your own competence, your own skill, your own freedom to interpret it, to explain it in a compelling and convincing way. Everyone has the freedom to promote what they believe. And also, I want to mention this: true freedom means not only to believe whatever you want, but also to promote whatever you want. Like, we should not say you can believe in your freedom in your privacy, but that's okay. But you should not promote. No, you can promote. You can promote without attacking, without offending others, without insulting others, other gods, other beliefs. You promote whatever you believe in. That is truth. That is sincerity, and which I respect everyone, other people sincerely held beliefs, and I think my own beliefs are also worthy of respect. And we should respect, and we should like come and discuss and debate and dialogue, and that way we arrive at truth. Okay, now the third point. Yeah, this is a very well known fact, and this is taught as history, and it is history. It is universally known. America saved you. America, along with India, that I documented in my last video, saved Europe and Israel, the Jews during World War II and Hitler's persecutions. Yes, this is an important thing. It is known as history, and it is known also. It is. It happened on D-Day, right? D-Day. We all know of D-Day, or if we don't know, we can always learn online. Uh, Right, so D-Day is when the American soldiers came and they liberated Britain. They liberated first France and then Britain. So and then all of Europe. So Hitler's forces were very strong in Normandy, on the beaches of Normandy, where the Allied forces landed, where the American forces landed, and they came. Yeah, they call it the greatest generation. Yeah, it required courage and sacrifices and honor and valor, because victories are not won so easily in war, right? And it was not certain at that point that Hitler would be defeated. Hitler was very strong. Like they thought he would take over all of Europe. It seemed like all Europe would fall. Britain had fallen, mostly all Europe would have fallen. If America had not joined, mostly all America would have fallen. Not only Britain and Europeans were suffering, also the Jews were very terribly suffering in Europe, especially in Germany, certain places in Germany. So American soldiers came, they fought, they liberated all Europe. Let's read a little, okay? Um, mm, Let me just Wikipedia. This took place on 6 June 1944. Um, the important points are not mentioned here. Planning for the operation, okay. Allies failed to achieve many of their major goals on the first day, right? Uh, Okay, so in late May, so Hitler invaded Germany. Hitler invaded Russia. That was probably one of his first mistakes. If he had not done it, maybe he may have even won the war. In late May 1942, the Soviet Union and the United States made a joint announcing that a full understanding was reached with regard to the urgent task of creating a second front in Europe in 1942. However, British Prime Minister Winston Churchill persuaded US President Franklin Roosevelt to postpone the promised invasion, as even with US help, the Allies did not have adequate forces for such an activity. Okay, so this is the reason. They allied. The Britain were always allies, and they were helping even before the attack on Pearl Harbor. Americans were helping the Britishers. But so once they attacked Russia, also, then America became even more alarmed, because if today they are attacking Russia, tomorrow they may come here to India. They may go there to America, Far East, the Far West, and you never know what will happen. So it became a matter of security also for them, and they had to fight, and they had to defend their own allies, Britain and France and Europe. They came, they fought, and the rest is history, as they say. So the day America entered the war, similar to World War II, World War One, the tide of battle turned, and the Allies won. Okay, so this is a great accomplishment, and we should say it as proudly as Indians also. And we were allies and stood shoulder to shoulder with America and Britain and the rest of the allies, and we also saved Europe. America also saved Europe, so it's a great accomplishment. Saved as Europe, they saved Israel. Today also everyone knows America defends Israel probably more than they defend even themselves. They defend Israel, and they defended Israel during World War II and Hitler's persecution. So something to always something Israel especially should never forget. all the love and the outpouring of support that America showed, especially in their darkest days of persecution. That's the second point. Now the third point is America, along with Pope Saint John Paul II and Lech Walesa's Poland. This happened under communism. This was around post 1978, so maybe 30-35 years ago. Saved the world from communist terrorism. Very important. 60 million Orthodox Christians, Russian Orthodox Christians, died under atheistic communist persecution in the Soviet Union. Still very not known, especially in the West. This is a great opportunity we have right here in India. We can educate the West. We can educate the whole world. That 60 million, we all know of the Holocaust of about 6 million Jews in Europe under Hitler, which was very evil. And but this Holocaust is mentioned by one of the greatest historians in the 20th century, Alexander Solzhenitsyn, and he has mentioned that 60 million Russian Orthodox Christians died under atheistic communist Soviet terrorist persecutors in the Soviet Union. This atheistic communist Holocaust this Holocaust of Russian Orthodox Christians is not very well known in the West, right? So it was a terrible, terrible time, a terrible suffering, terrible persecution. You can read all about this. Joseph Stalin, the Cheka, the gulags. So actually, probably the America-Russia alliance was not so well advised, actually. Even though Germany was very evil, and of course Germany was the pressing threat. I believe there was even an American general who said, after looking at the communists, we have fought the wrong enemy. Soon after this, the communists are going to attack us. And with the Bay of Pigs episode and all that, in just about 15 years after that, there was almost a threat of a nuclear showdown between America and there also the papacy intervened. So if you see, let me put the link in the chat. It was Pope John the 23rd, Pope Saint John the 23rd. Papacy averted a nuclear crisis. I'm sure that is the thing. Let me see. Yeah, a war prevented Pope John the 23rd and the Cuban Missile Crisis. So the Pope, let me just put the link in the chat. So how the Pope intervened to bring peace between America and Russia, because America and Russia, America is Western country, Russia is Eastern country, Rome is situated in Europe, about midway between the two. And so when Rome intervenes and when it fights for peace and for freedom like it did, and then it gives both sides an opportunity to show a safe face, and it shows them that Rome is not on one side against the other, but Rome is on both sides, and Rome is on the side of peace, liberty, justice, and truth. And that's what happened. The war was averted. So we should always remember. We should always remember that the papacy averted a nuclear crisis, and it worked together with both America and Russia, and it gave both of them an opportunity to end the war. And that's when, after that, only America and the Catholic Church also began to grow very much closer, especially during President Ronald Reagan's time. So that was around 1960. Next we come to 1978. 1978 saw the election of Pope Saint John Paul II. Pope Saint John Paul II was a Polish Catholic Pope. He had been Archbishop of Krakow before then, and then he became a cardinal. Then he became Pope, and he was a staunch opponent of communism. He understood very well both communism and Nazism. He was from Poland, and Poland, like America also fought both Poland and communism and Nazism. India also has fought, and Poland also fought. And Polish people especially, they suffered under communism and Nazism. They know how gravely evil these atheistic, anti-religious, anti-God, anti-humanity, these bad religions and bad ideologies influenced by Darwin and Marx and Nietzsche and other bad thinkers of the 19th century, how evil these ideologies were. And so when Polish people were suffering under communism, Pope John Paul II went to Poland, and with manly strength and with divine toughness, he said, he rebuked the communists, and he rebuked all evil, and he said, we want freedom, we want God. And the Polish people took to the streets saying, we want God, and the communists were amazed. And America and Reagan, watching from afar, were also amazed at this, but in another way, right? And they were amazed in a very positive and happy way and surprising way. And Ronald Reagan said, I've had a feeling, especially in the Pope's visit to Poland, that religion could be the Soviets' Achilles heel, right? It could be the end. It could be the end of the communist oppression. That's what we are opposed. We are not opposed to an ideology that, okay, even if we may disagree with an ideology, you may be even atheistic if you want. Grant full freedom to Christians and to others to do as we wish, to worship and to serve God and to pay our taxes to the government, to give honor to the government, give everything. The Bible says, give honor, give respect, give everything to due to what is to the government and to those to whom it is due. So we always respect the government officials. We always respect We always pay our taxes. We will be model and outstanding citizens, but our duty is to serve God first. So nobody has the right to prevent us from serving God. So now what I want to say is how it was America's accomplishment was America gave the um, peace through strength. That was President Reagan's policy, right? So he said to Gorbachev, tear down this wall. And so the wall between East Germany and West Germany, dividing, communist world from the Western world, from the liberal, free, democratic world. Again, I'm not unreservedly praising the West or anything. I know, as I say often, communism, abortion, legal abortion came from communism. That's why it started. So if you go look through the history, 1917, the Soviet Union was the first government. Russia, up until then, had very strong measures against abortion killing because everyone knew and recognized that abortion was killing, was infanticide. So abortion started there. Now it has gone to the West. Today, the West, many Westerners, unfortunately, many liberal Westerners and conservative and traditionalist Westerners know this, are the greatest promoters of abortion. Abortion is condemned in all religious texts. It's condemned in Jewish scriptures, in the Christian scriptures, in the Hindu scriptures, in the religion, in the Muslim scriptures. People say religion is not important and religion has nothing to do with morality. And this shows up until about 1800 or even 1900, virtually no one, I think even Margaret Sanger, who said, I would like to kill the black population, especially, although she didn't say black, she used a very dirty and ugly and offensive word. Even she said contraception, let's stop with contraception at least, because abortion kills a life. And, from that, she's the founder of an organization, Planned Parenthood, that has killed some is it 50 million? At least 50 million American children, disproportionately African American children. Because abortion is racism. Abortion has engenders racist killings. So that evil abortion is. And till communism, nobody. I mean, it was unthinkable. Of course, in the Didash, reflecting the Lord's commandments in the Bible, God said the Lord's commandment to the heathen through the 12 apostles. I shall not kill a child that is born, nor murder a child by abortion. So abortion has been recognized as murder, has been recognized as killing since the time of Christ and his apostles, 2,000 years. And before that, at the time of Moses, there was legislation against it. And before that, in the time of Noah, so more than 5,000 years, right from the beginning of the world, about 10,000 years ago when Adam was created, right from the beginning of the world, um, abortion has been recognized as the shedding of blood. Of course, it is the shedding of blood. Of course, it is the killing of a human being. Today, we have the living proof of that. We have the ultrasound showing the child's beating heart. The child has a beating heart in his mother's womb, or her mother's womb, and we want to stop that life. So this is another bad thing that came from communism. We reject religious persecution. We reject most kind of persecutions that the communists instituted. But one thing we have not rejected yet, to our shame, I say, is abortion killing. Abortion killing, we really need to reject. And I do believe this next 10 years, we're going to see a global movement. And it started in America. And it's just like America liberated Europe during World War II. And also, again, it saved Europe during World War III, which was communism, right? Communist terrorism was like World War III. It's thankfully never broke out into a World War III. America is going to help liberate the world from abortion terrorism, also abortion communist terrorism, which is it's a prophecy. Believe me, it will happen. America will play a leading role about it. It's already doing so. America already is doing so, and the UN does other good things, like it gives food for the poor and all, which is good and God bless work. Unfortunately, UN is radically pro-abortion, abortion, infanticide. They don't even say. Some time ago, people used to say we want abortion to be safe, legal, and rare. I want it to be the rarest of the rare, which is never. So we have some common ground, at least, if you say you want it to be safe and rare, legal and rare. Of course, I don't believe it is licit, lawful, or legitimate. It may be legal, and that is because man can change the law. By God's law, it can never be legal. Because it is a killing. God's law is thou shalt not kill. 3,500 years, these commandments have formed the basis of society. Thou shalt not kill, you shall not shed man's blood. So is that even before the 10 commandments given to Noah? You shall not shed man's blood, because man was made in the image of God. Whoever kills a baby, whoever kills a child, it's like he's killing God. It's like killing baby Jesus. So that is what America has been fighting against. America delivered the world um, from communist terrorism. That is point 4. And the point 5, this is very specific to Indians. Indians, we ought to love America a lot, right? We want to go to America, which is fine, we all know America is a wealthy and prosperous country, but sometimes we don't want to love America much. We don't want to give America much. We should. And then only Americans will welcome us and respect us even more, right? And they give us the full freedom already. But if we want them, we should know English well. Very important. We should try to speak English, if not in a perfectly American way, which we may not cannot maybe imitate very much, at least in a good way, not like with some way, oh, they had badly know English, they gave no importance to it. That should not be the impression that Americans have of us. So Americans and Indians are allies, right? Our own religious scriptures also condemn abortion. This is where the new frontier is now. We had Covidian terrorism, which by God's grace is ending. We had communist terrorism, which was marked by the persecution of Christians and religious people. Now that also has ended. Now the latest persecution, the latest oppression, which needs to end. This has been a genocidal holocaust of nearly 2 billion innocent children this last 50 years, and that is abortion. Abortion needs to end, and all people of goodwill can work together. I like to say there are 2.5 billion Christians, 2 billion Muslims, and 1.5 billion Hindus. That accounts for 6 billion out of the world's 8 billion population. These 6 billion people, all the religious scriptures condemn abortion, condemn. Only the communists have been promoting it for about 100 years. I'm confused by the communists. Many of these atheistic Western liberals also, oh, yes, kill children, or they will say foolish things, yeah, why not kill children? Oh, the baby doesn't feel it. All the lies, denial, right? Baby has a beating heart. The baby knows when the baby is being killed, and tries to defend it. She tries to defend herself, not understanding what is happening, not understanding why she is being killed. She tries, but she can't succeed. How when we want to kill her, we with our advanced technological sophistication, we want to kill him or we want to kill her, baby in the womb, then and we do it in such a callous and cruel way. Then of course, I mean, God doesn't like it. God doesn't like this sin at all, which is like killing God. Okay, so I want to say this fifth point. Yes, America has welcomed nearly 5 million Indian Americans who proudly say God bless America with other Americans. So Indians are hardworking, prosperous, successful people also. By God's grace, only the best of the best go to America. And we need to work harder. If you ever want to go to America, be ready to work on 5-10 years at least of hard work here in India after your studies. Then you can go in a good position. You will be a senior and you should speak English very well. English is the language of international success. Take it seriously. After that, you don't want to learn English, it's up to you. Hindi is important. Hindi is very important in India. Tamil is very important here in Tamil Nadu. But the English is very, very, very important in the world today if you want to succeed. So go in a high position, go with good education, go with good qualifications, respect the values, the culture, and the traditions of the country to which you emigrate to, and then try to work for the upliftment of that country. There should be some benefit. Just like when a company hires you, you need to give some benefits to that company, right? That's why they're hiring you. Similarly, when a country adopts you, when a country welcomes you as an immigrant, you should give some benefits to that country. That is your duty. Of course, other day, as I said, Tamil Nadu Foundation, I saw that some Americans of Tamil origin have started that NGO and push dollars back here to India, which is very good for the prosperity of India, the upliftment of India, very good. Also work for the well-being, the prosperity, the upliftment of America. That's your duty. India is your natural country and always will be. America is your adopted country. And so, just like you love India so much, you should, if you're an Indian American or an American Indian, the second country you should love most after India is America. And you should work for its well-being, its upliftment, its prosperity, its development. Yeah, I loved what President Trump said. He spoke of a even closer American-Indian alliance when he came to India, and he said America will always be faithful to India, and they know that India is the next upcoming superpower. Right? We have 140 billion people. Our army will soon be the strongest in the world, even surpassing America. Though, as I mentioned in that video, though as it is shown in that video, technological superiority, we are not near them yet. India and America, there should be no distance between both of us. We should be the world's first and second greatest countries, militarily and otherwise, and we should be closely knit together in an alliance. And no nation on earth will be able to stand against us. And the promise God gave in the Bible will be true of America and India. India, we can call it. No nation, no weapon formed against you will prosper. Right? We can bring peace and stability and security and freedom to the world. Ending abortion is our number one challenge today. Use your advocacy. If you make YouTube videos, speak about it. If you write blogs on forums, whatever it is, use them for the cause of life. All religious people can unite, and I'm not against communists or anything. Provided, only a thing that I'm asking of you: stand for life, stand for freedom. Today, I know there are even many atheists who stand for freedom. Still a small minority only, but who stand for freedom, who stand for life, who protest abortion. Abortion is homicide. Abortion is killing. Right? This is where World War, whatever you want to call it, you want to call it World War III. This is where it's being fought. You can call it World War V actually, because it was after communism, after COVID, and now abortion is the next greatest killing. Because we all know, right? When we think of COVID, first thing we ask, how many lives is it killed? Right? It's killed millions of lives. So same thing, how many lives is abortion killed? It's killed billions. It's killed more than 100 million. It's killed more than 1,000 million, which is 1 billion. So that is abortion. That is the grave evil of abortion, right? So respect America. I'm sure there will be 10 million Indian Americans soon. Maybe America's population will be about 500 million by the time. And the best of the best and the best of the brightest should go there to Americans, and Americans should not have any negative impression about our country. And it should not be like they're stealing our jobs or anything. Go be entrepreneurs, create jobs, right? Educate all the good values you have, all the education that you've learned over so many. I would say people I know, even 15, 20 people start dreaming of going to America. Say work hard till you're 30, 35, even 40. Then yes, you will get the opportunity, because these days there is equality of opportunity anywhere. You can emigrate to any country, provided you've established yourself as a hard worker, well educated and a hard worker. So that's the first thing. Educated well, having a good start in life, as by God's grace I had NIT, then IIN, now CAT and CFA FRM. Those that really helps. I worked for an American company also. I can't forget that. Bank of New York, although very much love my current company also, European Swiss company, investment bank, and all these are interlinked now these days. And so the more harder you work, the better your chance. If you're going abroad is your goal, learn English well and work hard. One day you will get the opportunity. Right? So about 30 minutes for each of these 5 points. Now, the next point is America has the strongest military in the world and has kept the world safe from harm despite a few mistakes. Yeah, that should be very obvious by now. Iraq war, I believe, was a mistake. That almost all Americans also believe. That also Pope John Paul II, see how important, if America had done everything in consultation with the Pope, America would not have even uh, gone to Iraq, because Pope John Paul II sent one of his cardinals and his bishops to the president, George Bush, with whom he was in good terms. He said, "Don't go, don't go. This is a trap. This is a mistake. Don't go, don't go." But Bush said, "I respect you, Your Holiness, but I want to go." And okay, Pope John Paul, what he can say? This is just an appeal of a man of conscience, nothing more. And fine, they had a disagreement, but they remained on very good terms and they went. But about 5, 10 years later, everyone knows now Iraq was a mistake. Al Qaeda, yes, we know Al Qaeda attacked America on 9/11. So attacking Al Qaeda would have been justified, which they also did, and they sentenced Bin Laden to death. That is true and that is good. But Saddam Hussein, though he was maybe not a saint, but he was not invading anyone, right? You should only defend, like, I mean, just war requires that somebody should be a serious aggressor. He was not an aggressor as such. Saddam Hussein, he was minding his own business, right? But he was doing some dirty work also, but he was minding his own business. So, Uncle Sam, America lost a great deal of credibility, respect, and reputation when it went for this war in Iraq, which it should never have gone for. And even Afghanistan was, of course, a just war, especially against Al Qaeda. But as we know recently, so America, many say American empire is declining, crumbling, has lost its optimism, its favor. Let's see. We hope America now. America did. It wasn't a glorious, what to say, World War II and all was glorious, but the recent, when they left Afghanistan, they didn't leave in glory exactly, right? We know that. So they didn't have a clear strategy, what we are going to do, what we are going to accomplish, how long we're going to be here. It all depended on, the next election. This president says that president says that, and then they leave. Biden is not strong. Trump was very tough and very strong, in my opinion. I was a great supporter of Trump. All my friends know that, because he was strong. He was strong against ISIS. So ISIS is the threat. ISIS is the terrorism. This is another accomplishment of America, defeating ISIS, which we will come to later on. Defeating Al Qaeda, defeating ISIS, all this is good. But troubling a democratic government, there's no use in that. And also, even when you're defeating ISIS, you should have a clear strategy. You should know whom to ally with, which government to work with. I could be a good consultant for the American government, I think. But I would definitely advise it against just what to say, unnecessarily don't trouble good countries. That's a very important thing. Who troubles good countries will never be a great nation. So if you want to be a great country, don't trouble good nation. Only the aggressor, right? The policeman should never, even if the policeman does 99 things good, the one innocent person whom he does something against, everyone will complain because of that. So you only against the bad person, only against someone. Yeah, Trump accepted Jerusalem as Israel capital, moving a US embassy to Jerusalem. That is another great accomplishment of Trump. So the whole world knows it. My bro Jitin has said that, right? And the whole world knows it. So Trump was very pro-Israel, pro-life, anti-abortion, pro-Christian, against Christian persecution, and he welcomed everyone. He was pro-Hindu, he was even pro-Muslim. He welcomed everyone of goodwill. He welcomed everyone who loved freedom. He was not against anyone, as some people wrongly said. But he defended Christians. He defended religious people. He defended those suffering persecution, and uh, so yes, so America has kept the world safe from harm, right? I will. This is they do have some things to change. Like they should debate everything carefully and more properly before they start an expedition. Like Iraq was badly mismanaged, and even Afghanistan, to be frank, was not very good. But at least Bin Laden, they got rid of. He was a great criminal and a terrorist. But it could have been better done. But let's see this next 10, 20 years. Let's see how things go. So, next thing point is American education. Exams like the CFA and FR exams are benefiting the whole world, including especially India. This we all know. We are management guys. We are in finance. We are writing CFA Institute. Where is the CFA Institute located? In America. The exact place is CFA. I think it's a Charlottesville CFA program. Institute. Location is, yeah, Charlottesville. So yeah, and most of these in New York all have localities all across America. So these are all American organizations. GAP is GAP is also mostly American, I'm sure, but yeah, Jersey City, New Jersey. So one is Charlottesville, Virginia. All these are American states, American exams. They're blessing the whole world. We know the value of education, right? If you get a good education, you may move to America one day, you may move to Britain, you may move to another country, and you may succeed in America. India is coming up. Don't I would bet on India more than any other country. India may be now seventh largest country in the world. I'm sure India $3 trillion. I'm sure India will come up to $10 trillion, possibly even by 2020, maybe if not 2025, 2027 or 2028, India can come up. And India is upcoming. Salaries are going to rise, right? If a nation grows three times, then salaries will also rise three times in the next 7, 8 years. It can. By hard work, by good education, we're equal to everyone. That's the beauty and benefit of modern society. We have equality of opportunity, not necessarily equality of outcome. That depends on our hard work, right? It's one of the disputes between capitalism and communism. Should there be equality of outcome? Should we forcibly rob from the rich to give to the poor? No, we don't need to do that. What we need to do is give the rich and the poor alike. There should be no crony capitalism. There should be a chance for everyone to rise in society. And that is that opportunity now. Salaries will increase, our families will be more prosperous, we will be more successful, more advanced. Right? Those are the advantages of modern society. And so this education that they give to all, and this master's program in India, let alone abroad, especially UG and PG just after done after UG, would cost like crores, right? It would cost $100,000, maybe 1 crore. But CFA, FRM, you can write, at least until recently, you could write all 5 levels across 5 years for about 5 lakh rupees, for about $5,000, $6,000. That is a great advantage, and you can do it while working. So I recommend all people, especially those in finance, if you're in any kind of related field, write both. Risk management, auditing, financial consulting, financial management, investment, anything, whatever you are, write both. Try, prepare and write. Clear at least one level of each. That will be a great CV point. It will impress your firstly American and abroad recruiters definitely. And nowadays it's being well known even in India, right? And you will definitely benefit. You will gain a lot of experience, a lot of education just through writing it. You'll in vast exposure, you'll understand what the world of finance is currently about. Another great point about the syllabus is it's always updated, it's always current. So 2021 will be 2022. If you don't read for 5, 10 years, you'll become a little outdated. So read the latest news, what is happening in the world of finance, what are the unsolved problems which even today all the investment managers don't know how to solve. You could solve that one day if you spend 5, 10 years reading nicely and gaining both these certifications. I definitely want to gain both. I cleared FRM level 2 now by God's grace. Next step is to clear CFA 2 and CFA 3 after that. CFA 2, up to February 9th, there is deadline for registering. I have not registered yet. I want to get my books first. I'll register shortly. So America promotes educations like this. Now, let me go to the next point. Americans love to say and to sing, God bless the USA. They say, God, God we trust. On the dollar, they invoke God Almighty in the Declaration of Independence from the British. They proudly profess themselves one nation under God in their pledge. America is a God-loving, God-fearing, Christ-loving nation to this day. Bible says, blessed is the nation that recognizes God. So this is another reason why America and communism were polar opposites. Communism believed in absolute separation of church and state. This was enshrined into the Soviet constitution. Of course, now they couldn't do that anymore because Russian Orthodox Church and the Russian nation now work together very closely, and because they know now the horror of persecution, and they know after the hard experience of communism what it is to live under atheistic communist dictatorship. So that is communism. But America has never believed in that kind of thing, right? In God we trust. Proudly they acknowledge God. God bless America. They proudly sing. All castes, all creeds, all religions, all faiths sing like that. And yeah, so that is the beauty of it. That is the beauty of having a free nation, that respects God. And with God's blessing and with hard work, you can come up in life. Even if you are born poorest of the poor, you can come to being one of the richest man in the world today by 30 to 40 years of hard work. begin working hard, begin working from a young age, then gaining education, gaining talents, gaining skills, and one day you'll come up in life. So this is another very important point. This I've spoken a little about it. So let me pass to the next point. Next point also I have mentioned briefly. Yeah, next point is America is the global frontier for the pro-life movement. The moment that recognizes that abortion is infanticide. Abortion is condemned in all religious scriptures, including Jewish, Old Testament, Christian, New Testament, Church tradition. Example, Didash, see the article. Yeah, 1 Peter 5. So I write for an American Christian organization. It's called 1 Peter 5. Uh, so let me read a little from that article on abortion. So this America is the global struggle, no global center, no doubt. If you want to win this World War III against abortion, we have to you have to ally with America about that, and you have to be engaged, right, in the war that is going on in America. It has been 684 shares, I think, one of my most shared articles, and yeah. So I quoted many sources in that article. Let me give the link, and let me read 1 Peter 5, evil abortion. Christians defend your nation against the evil of abortion. Let me quote a little. I say, the Vidya solemnly states, as priest for life, led by Father Frank Pavone notes, the Lord's teaching to the heathen by the 12 apostles, the second commandment of the teaching. Do not murder, do not commit adultery, do not corrupt boys, do not fornicate, do not steal, do not practice magic, do not go in for sorcery, do not murder a child by abortion or kill a newborn infant. For this is the way of life. Well, there are two ways, the one of life and one of death. And between the two ways, there is a great difference. The way of death leads to a culture of death and to perdition if unrepented. It is neglect of the sovereign divine commandment, thou shalt not kill, Exodus 20:13, enshrined in the law given to Moses, and still earlier in the precepts of natural law conferred to Noah. Whoever shall shed man's blood, his blood shall be shed, for man was made in the image of God. This is a verse I mentioned earlier, Genesis 9:6, written nearly 4,000 years ago and reflecting a tradition about 10,000 years old. And going back to the earliest of the early men, you shall not shed blood, do not be a man of blood, do not shed blood. God will require it at the judgment. Why did you shed blood? The first question God is going to ask us. Why did you shed man's blood? Which is like killing God, because you cannot kill God in heaven. God lives in his creatures, especially those who have welcomed him into their hearts. And so if we kill man, it is like killing God. And that's why God very strongly opposes it. And he's going to ask us, why did you kill man's blood? Do you not know it's like it's like shedding my blood? God is going to ask us at our judgment. So if you want that to stop, you don't want to have a bad judgment, then work against abortion now today, whichever religion of we are or whichever political philosophy we are also. You may be left-leaning liberal atheist, but you should be pro-life, right? And you may be communist, liberal communist. I don't care what Marx has written or Darwin has written or what this person or that person has written about abortion. Today we have scientific evidence. Virtually all of them, in my opinion, would change their opinion if they live today. Even Margaret Sanger would probably say that abortion is very grave evil. And today we have proof. We have proof that abortion kills children. We have proof that abortion stops a beating human heart. Use your influence, advocate, and you must, like I've been trying to do through YouTube videos, through online articles. You must fight against abortion. We must win this fight. Right? All good people are on the side of life. All good people everywhere from every culture, and we must, right? People say abortion is a difficult issue, a thorny issue. Yes, it is, because our conscience approaches us, because God is rebuking us in our hearts. Imagine killing a child before his father's eyes. That's what we are doing. We are forcing God to witness from heaven, and we are killing his children. It is a marvel and a wonder and a proof of God's almighty infinite mercy that he doesn't strike us as we deserve. Wouldn't we? We would say this is self-defense. Sorry, you are killing my children. We would take firm action. But God is merciful. God is love. Okay, but he wants us to repent. Just like slavery also was a grave, yeah, just like slavery also was a grave evil, and people non-violently resisted, and slavery ended. So have the conviction also. Abortion is going to end. I'm telling you, abortion will end one day. God Almighty also has said it to many of his mystics and his saints. It will end. And the sooner it ends, the quicker it ends, and the more peaceful way in which it ends, the world will have peace soon. Right? Blessed Mother also has said in Fatima and elsewhere, the world will, communism will end, and there will be a period of peace given to the world. Bible has said, Saint Paul has said, Israel will convert to Jesus Christ, and there will be peace. For that, there will be antichrist, tribulation, persecution, etc. But in the end, there will be peace, and it all depends on our conversion to God or not, coming to a holy life, right? So if till now we have committed abortion without knowing it, okay, God is ready to forgive, God is willing, but think this is how you are going. When you go before God asking for forgiveness, you're going before a man whose child you have killed. That's how you should think abortion is. Abortion kills the children of God. So go with sorrow, go with contrition, go apologizing to God and begging his forgiveness, and God in his goodness and his love will forgive you. And after that, you should completely change. Should never commit it again, should never defend it again, should never support it again. Use your influence. By God's grace, I have never supported or promoted abortion and never will. I go by God's grace, I hope. and I will definitely use all the influence I have to fight against abortion. And I want everyone to start doing that. Start a YouTube channel, post it on WhatsApp, post it on blogs, post it on forums, talk wherever you want, and advocate in every way that you can. Have political parties, right? We need more education and awareness of this point here in India. Another reason I greatly love and support my American friends, because they are doing great work throughout the world, promoting against abortion. Right? America is the top country. Maybe Poland is the second, or Poland is perhaps even stronger than America against abortion. But these are the two top countries. We should be strong. Our religious scriptures condemn abortion. It's very, very gravely evil, right? It's one of the worst evils in the world. The Islamic religious scriptures condemn abortion, right? It is universally condemned. Only after the communism and this last 50 years, we have seen 1973 abortion became illegal. My hope is and my belief is by 50 years, by the 50th year ignominious anniversary of Roe v. Wade, that is January, I think 22nd, is it? January 2nd, 22nd, 2023. America will at least partially overturn Roe v. Wade. The case is going on this year. Many will say, no, it will never happen. You're dreaming. No, I'm not dreaming. I'm praying and I'm hoping. And I believe that there's power in prayer and in hope and in belief and in action also. Work hard. There is a case, I think it will be June or something this year, and should be model legislation. The whole world should pay attention to it. And this heartbeat, we are all linked today. It's like, there are 50 states in America, 50 or so, I think 50. And then there are 28 states and 8 union territories in India. And what goes on in other states affects us. We know that as Indians. So also what goes on in other countries affects us, because our Supreme Court justices all are very well read. They keep up with international precedent, it is called, and the cases going on elsewhere. So if people in America are fighting for a heartbeat law, then, judges have quoted that in here in India. We should make the mother listen to the heartbeat of her child who wants to kill the child. There was a case like that. So it all matters. I'm sure it'll begin in America, it'll come to India. India will take up the mantle, and from there it will spread to the world. Just like slavery ended, abortion will also end. Abortion is going to end. Sooner it ends, the more we work toward it, the sooner God will bless the whole world with peace, with prosperity, with happiness. God wants us all to be happy, but while we are doing evil things, we cannot have happiness. Right? While we are doing evil things, where we are indifferent to it, okay, who cares if people die? If we are like that, we cannot have peace, right? This is whoever shall shed man's blood, his blood shall be shed. For man was made to the image of God, Genesis 9:6. That has led to the greatest and most tragic genocidal holocaust of our time, of nearly 2 billion children cruelly killed worldwide. The first point: the state has a strict and certain duty to uphold the natural law of God, made known even through reason and conscience alike, though confirmed by divine revelation. So Alexander Hamilton, he is the founder of the Bank of New York, the first MNC in which I worked, a great company. So this is a beautiful quote from him. Good and wise men in all ages have supposed that the deity, in the relations we stand into himself and to each other, has constituted an eternal and immutable law, which is indispensably obligatory upon all mankind prior to any human institution whatsoever. This is what we call the law of nature. See if I can post it. Okay, it's a little long to post. Being co-equal with mankind and dictated by God himself, it is of course superior in obligation to any other. It is binding over all the globe in all countries and at all times. No human laws are of any validity if contrary to this, and such of them as are valid derive all the authority immediately or immediately from this original law. Right? So all laws come from God's law. God has established some basic principles, right? You must respect human life, you must grant freedom to all. We are granting no freedom to children in the womb. We are granting we are not respecting their right to life. And so this is very bad. This is one of the world's greatest sins, in my opinion, if not the very greatest. And this is the most urgent problem of our time. You want to be a moral person, you want to be a religious, spiritual person, you want to change the world, change abortion, like change hearts about abortion, right? Since the laws also is important, but changing hearts is arguably even more important. So it's evil, dear friends. We have genetic proof now today. 23 chromosomes from mother and 23 chromosomes from father. At 6 weeks, the baby's heart, less than 6 weeks, sometimes 4 or 5 weeks. My mother is an ultrasound doctor. She knows this very well, much better than me also. 4 or 5 weeks, the baby's heart begins to beat. He or she has genetic, fully human. Don't say it's less human or non-human. Has human DNA from both his father and his mother. We are killing a child, dear friends. Let the horror of that sink in. These days we advocate even for prisoners, and we say we should not treat them even a little harshly. But what about killing a child, an innocent child? We should not put guilty criminals to death. Many people say, okay, fine, but what about putting an innocent child to death? Isn't that so horrible? What about putting millions of children to death? Doesn't it compound the evil? Oh, this is the greatest Holocaust of our time, the greatest genocide, the most greatest of evils. Right? We have to stop this. We have to stop this. We have to stop it. It's the most important thing. And America is doing it well. India should do it more. America also should do more, right? So, like I said, 6 billion of 8 billion people are religious, Christian, Hindu, Muslim, and we all reject, all our religious scriptures reject abortion. So, be faithful to your religious scriptures. Your religious scriptures are anti abortion, be anti abortion, be pro life. It's the urgent calling of our time. There's a very good chance abortion can end in our lifetime. Legal abortion, no more killing of children, right? Let adoption replace abortion. Mother Teresa, Saint Mother Teresa of Calcutta, whom we love and respect so much, especially we Indians, she was a great opponent of abortion. She went there to America and she opposed abortion, and the American senators and all they stood up and they congratulated her. They actually applauded for her because many Americans oppose abortion because I mean, this evil came from communism, and it's like communism waving its flag, right? I'm killing your children. That's what communism is saying. You think you are free, but I'm killing your children. So know what communism is, but they are fighting, right? Americans will not bow so easily. All the world is fighting. All the world is fighting against abortionist communist terrorism. Don't think communism is over. As long as legal abortion remains legally in even one country, communism has not ended. So now it becomes an international struggle to liberate the world from communism. I believe America and India can have a leading role in it. America is already starting. We Indians are now just starting. Me and through other people, pro-life people I know, we are now starting. We are coming of age, right? We are realizing abortion is the greatest evil of our generation. America's Judeo-Christian proudly continues the Judeo-Christian tradition of freedom, peace, love, and tolerance. Some people say, "Oh, Christians have been persecuting others." No, Christians are here and there have made a few mistakes, but for more than 250 years now, since the founding of America, and if you see it goes back 300, 400 years, Christians have been the most believing the most freedom. Give freedom to everyone. Some other Christians criticize this. Why so much freedom to others? But no freedom, because we know without freedom, then without freedom, it leads to fanaticism and extremism, and it only leads to everyone persecuting everyone else. Oh, you are not Christian, I'll persecute you. Oh, you're not a true Christian, I'll persecute you. And that goes on, it goes on, it never stops. So, America has been for nearly 400 years, even before it became a free nation. In the days of the colonies, you can read about Lord Baltimore. So, Baltimore gave full religious freedom. I think, when did Lord Baltimore live? I don't know exactly the year, but I know that it must have been around 400 years. The exact year is not important, but I know. So for almost 400 years, America has been a great defender of religious freedom, and even today, America defends religious freedom all around the world, and religious freedom of everyone: Christians, Hindus, Muslims, and even atheists, and full religious freedom to all. Right? The world is becoming educated. Let the world make an educated, informed, free decision. There is no reason to have persecution in the world today. There is no reason to have any kind of oppression. Let everyone be free. Let everyone be free to believe and to promote. I'm sure once the truth open, we should have debates and religious debates and anti-abortion debates. Is abortion killing a human being? Yes. Then it should be illegal. Just like murder is illegal, right? Nobody says. Some people say even if you make abortion illegal, people will still have it. So people will stop killing, so let it be legal. That's like saying even if you make murder legal, or even if you don't make it, people will keep killing. So why don't we make murder legal? No, that's stupid. That's foolishness. People will do what they should do, what they want to do, but there should be consequences and there should be opposition to it about that. And I am in favor of full forgiveness for the mother, of course, but I don't want doctors to kill children. And doctors should take a stand. There was a Hippocrates oath, and there was a thing. We don't want to kill children. That's not a profession. Your profession is a noble profession, the doctor's profession. It is to serve children, to save lives, not to kill lives, not to kill children. That's what abortion does. It is so evil. Why am I speaking here at 2 o'clock in the morning on a day when I had a cold and was not well? And without drinking water for so long, I want some water, but I don't want to stop this video. Because abortion is that evil, dear friends. It is that evil, and fighting it is the most important challenge in a lifetime. And I tell you now again, surely in the name of God, I can prophesy to you, America will have a great role in defeating America, not in defeating abortion, not just like in World War II and then in World War III against communism, not only in America but throughout the world. And because the pro-life movement is very strong, right? 250 million Christians in America, at least 100 million Christians are very devout Christians, very pro-life. Both Catholic and evangelical Christians, very strongly pro-life. I'm proud to say, as a Catholic Christian, Catholic Church has always been pro-life from the very beginning for 2,000 years and remains pro-life to this day, unbreakably, staunchly, invincibly pro-life. And our evangelical Christian brothers and sisters of other denominations stand with us. The serious conservative Bible-believing Christians know abortion is sin. Abortion is like killing Jesus Christ. It's like killing God. We will not stand for it. We will take a firm stance against it. Okay, if you've done it, God is ready to forgive you, but in future, do not do it. Future, do not support it. Now, there were some, right? Bernard Nathanson, Dr. Bernard Nathanson, who earlier was a doctor killing children, and then he changed and became pro-life. And I think Jane Roe also, the original Roe, though I know some cast doubt on it. The exact specifics are not that relevant to me. But what I know is people change, right? People change. Leela Rose also often says, right? So many people, right? If you advocate against abortion, God will give you many other blessings also. Use your platform, use your influence. And God gives you little platform, little influence. Use it. Don't be afraid of offending people. It's an important matter. Your children are dying. I'm defending your children from you. Don't defend abortion. You know why people. And another reason why abortion becomes very common, because of fornication, because of premarital sex. If you have marriage if you have children within marriage, it's a great blessing. Right? People who get married because they want. Many people after they get married and start a married life, they want to have children. Some want to have children but do not. Right? But when you are not married, then you want to kill the child. Oh, I got married without. I had sex without marriage. I don't want a child. I want to kill the child. Then abortion. That's how abortion begins. So again, when you say fornication is a victimless crime, abortion is the crime that follows from the sin of fornication. Fornication is just a sin, not a crime, of course, but still, that's how it starts. So don't fornicate, don't live in sex without marriage, don't have sex till you're about 30 or until you get married. Before that, build your life, have discipline, have organized, and always resolve you'll never kill your child. Never ever. It's one of the most disgraceful things a man can do or a woman can do. So never ever do that, right? And so God will bless America for this reason also. Blessed is the nation, God is the Lord. Blessed is the nation that works hard. Blessed is the nation that opposes abortion. That is how God sees it. And that's why America is so blessed. That's why America is by far the richest country in the world, $20 trillion, and it surpasses all other countries, right? So as I said, so see, because 6 billion people of the world's 8 billion people oppose abortion, religious people. So with the Christian Hindu Muslim alliance against abortion, abortion will surely peacefully end. Right? Today, Christians are the ones leading against abortion. Many Islam is officially against it. Hindu religious scriptures also against it, but it's not well known here in the West. Here in the East, in the West, it is well known, right? So that's why I'm doing these videos. That's why I want to educate, right? Respect this good thing about Americans, and if you go to America, ally with them, right? If I was in America, definitely I would be one of the first in the pro-life marches, which they have every year. March for Life, I believe it just concluded some time ago, and you should, whichever religion you are, all people of all faiths are welcome, right? Go stand against abortion. Very, very important, right? Okay. America remains a deeply devout and religious nation. Last 5 points. I'll try to end in another half now, and I will also. It is not. I'm also a little tired, and I've kept my timeline so far. 10 points, about 60 minutes. So another 55 points for another 30 minutes for another 5 points. As a believer in Lord Jesus Christ, I cannot fail to notice that 250 million of the world's 2.5 billion Christians are Americans. So around 10% of Christians in the whole wide world live in America. America promotes the gospel of God's love. Lord Jesus Christ is the Son of God and the only Savior of the whole wide world. Yeah. It's another promise of God. If you keep His commandments, and what His commandment is in the New Testament, go believe, uh, what was the great commission of Lord Jesus Christ? It was to spread God's love everywhere. Go in my name and make disciples in all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, and spreading God's love everywhere, teaching them to observe all that I have commanded you, including the command not to kill children, not to commit abortion, which is very grave, right? And this, so when more people come to Christ, more people will turn against abortion, right? And that's how we are going to slowly change the world. 2 billion children have died. I don't want that to ever become 3 billion, or frankly, even 2.1 billion, or even 2.01 billion, if it is 2 billion today. But we have to change, right? We have to become serious. If we all became serious in our faith, if we all adhere to the religious scriptures we have currently, abortion would end in no time. It's time. It's time for a global educational revival. That's what we want. By 2030, we have great goals: end world poverty, end abortion, right? Live in peace and freedom. Whole world should become one. Like one nation, we should all be, right? Respecting everyone else. Like one nation has 50 states in America and 36 states in Union territories here in India. We should recognize the whole world as one nation, having about 200 countries, 200 sub nations under one nation, and fully respecting freedom, respecting everyone's freedom, and everyone working hard to bring in shared prosperity to the human family. Right? Those are international values. It's time to inculcate those universal international values. Right. One reason America is blessed, no doubt, because it is very devout, very prosperous, very successful country, is because it is a very religious country, and it remains so. Europe at least had prosperity earlier. Now Europe has become very lax. I don't say it is not Christian at all. It's become lax, liberal, and religious in many places, with some good exceptions, of course. America, on the whole world knows it. The press knows it. At least 100 million American Christians are very, very devout. Very devout. Maybe the most devout in the world. One of my relatives who was in America recently. American Christians are the most devout Christians in the world. I want Indian Christians to give a run for their money to that, and I want Indian Christians to be the most devout. Indian Christians also, I have experience with much of them, are very devout. Should be more devout. That's what God sees. God is not so much interested in whether we get our on-site offers and all that, as in whether we are devout people. Or Christians, if we are already come to Christ, God wants it, and other religions, be devout to Him. Obey God as best you know what you think God has commanded. Do that. Love God, talk to Him, pray to Him, ask His blessings on the work you do. It's a great difference I've seen in my life. There's a great difference when God blesses it, and the same thing when you try it with all your efforts, but God's blessing is not in it. That endeavor will not succeed. Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord. Blessed man does not rely on himself, but in all his ways he consults the Lord, and whatever he does will prosper. The Bible has said he'll be like a tree that brings forth its fruit in due season, planted by the running waters. Right? So much the Bible has said. I encourage everyone to read the Bible. If you want to be educated on world history, read the Bible. India is mentioned in the Bible. I think America is not mentioned, but India is mentioned. Read the Bible, you'll gain a good experience of history. Right? America is a young nation. Only around 300, less than 500 years ago, it was discovered. Okay, maybe 1490 to just about 500 years, 530 years, and America has come up so fast, right? We were a great nation once. We have a chance to come up. Another reason I want America and India to allies, India will come up. India will become a pro-life nation. India will become an educated nation. It will have 100% literacy. Everyone in India will succeed. Everyone can be prosperous. Everyone will have at least the basic bare minimum in income and quality of life, decency and dignity. I see so many of these videos where people suffer for lakhs and lakhs. They want lakhs and lakhs of money for healthcare expenses and they don't have it. We have to bring healthcare down. That's in the West. It has become commercialized healthcare, and even increasingly in India, it was no longer that missionary heart. Today, I saw a video of a great woman defending missionaries. And missionaries have done so much for India. They did it so sacrificially. It's so important. They give education, they give healthcare, they give quality services, and they did it all for low cost or nearly free. That's why we respect Mother Teresa so much, right? We need that missionary motivation back in hospitals, and will change the world. I'm telling you, like nothing else in the world, this missionary motivation in hospitals will change the world. Not for money, not for money. Religious sisters could do it, would be just absolutely great in doing it. uh, yeah, and that is the thing, dear friends. Either you're a mercenary or you're a missionary. Missionary is one who loves God and people, and I'm a missionary. I'm not ashamed of it. A mercenary is one who loves money and himself and nothing, herself and nothing else. And so, dear friends, there's a great difference, right? Missionaries have done so much good for our country, dear friends. Missionaries have done so much good. And so, an American Christian organization has been helping persecuted Christians in India. It's a disgrace. India, which has been such a loving, welcoming, peaceful, hospitable, tolerant country for so many thousands of years. Today, there's persecution of Christians, especially in the rural areas. In the urban areas, it's practically unheard of. That's why even I was surprised the first time many years ago when I heard there was persecution of Christians in India. I was surprised. But there is, especially in the rural areas, uneducated areas, illiterate areas. That's why education is so important. Education puts an end to all of that. One of the reasons I'm a missionary for education also. I'm an evangelist for all causes I believe in. I'm an evangelist for hard work and for education. Education, we will end all casteist discrimination. And I'm a little liberal also on these points because there are good points in liberalism. Liberalism means freedom. No casteism, no religious persecution, no discrimination, no hatred, right? So I want that to go to all the rural areas. I want everyone to have that freedom to believe what they want, that freedom to make an educated decision, right? And no casteism, no hatred, right? We have to come into the 21st century. Only once all of our people are free, it said injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Once all of our people are free, all working to the common goal of prosperity in India. Young girl once told Honorable President APJ Abdul Kalam, one of our great presidents. So, we had great Christian presidents, Muslim presidents, our prime ministers, and Hindu presidents, and Sikh prime ministers, presidents who've been great. So people of all religions have served our country, have served in our armed forces, have served as policemen, and have all done great, great, great work for our country. So we need communal unity, we need inter-religious harmony, we need inter-ethnic and interracial and inter-caste harmony in India. India is a great nation because of our unity amidst our diversity, our linguistic cultural diversity, but we have great unity because we have great love for one another, and we should have greater still, and we should come up more in that also, right? America is a country to learn from in this respects, which has given freedom to all. So the next point is America defends, protects, and promotes religious freedom around the whole world. It's a Judeo-Christian country, but it promotes the religious freedom of all, including Hindus, Muslims, and others. But 80% of religious people who are suffering persecution are Christians. 33% of the world, 80% of persecution. So very disproportionately, Christians are affected. Many Christian countries, Christian countries want to be meek and not strong. If Christian countries were tough and said nobody should persecute Christians, the world would respect it. Many countries in the Middle East and all, also atheistic communist countries, they persecute Christians. And today, because Christians take no action, they don't even complain to the police. Oh, we should forgive, we should love. Yes, forgive and love. Police should stop it. There's bad things going on in the East and all. In the countries and all. I'm telling you, dear friends, there is a God in heaven who watches all of it, and He is angry when people persecute innocent people. And He's able to stop in ways unknown to man. He's able to come to the relief and to the defense of His suffering flock. And He always says, "Whoever touches you touches me." God is angry. Never ever persecute another human being. You never know when you may make God Almighty angry with you. And if God is angry with you, things won't go well. We call it karma. Some religions call it karma, some God's judgment. It all means the same. If we do evil to others, someday someone will do evil to us. We do evil to us in our others in our own native land, then someday we go to a foreign land and others do evil to us. There should be no evil in the world. There should be no oppression, no injustice. We should never tire of speaking out. Even if after 50 years of speaking out, things only improve slightly, speak out for another 50 years. Use your power, use your word, use your strength. This is why God has given it to you, right? Use it. All religious yeah, so 350 million Christians are persecuted around the world today. 80% of all religious persecution. So I think around 420 religious people are persecuted. Out of that, 350 million are Christians, right? 80% of religious persecution is directed against Christians. So Christians need to be strong. Christians need to say enough of this Holocaust, enough of this genocidal Holocaust of suffering, death, persecution. How long? Right? And give full freedom. Why are you so afraid of Christianity? Christianity's two commandments are these: love God and love your neighbor. Christianity builds the most advanced, the most prosperous, and the most successful countries in the world, the happiest and the freest. America is an example of that. Britain, another country, Christian country. Maybe we'll see that later. I love these other countries, European countries, France, Ireland also. They have such a glorious Christian history. St. Patrick the Apostle, we've all learned of that. I studied in school, St. Michael's Academy. I respect my educators always. And we had great teachers, all Christian, Hindu, Muslim teachers. They taught us very well. And they gave us good values, and especially the patrician brothers, I want to say. We have that hymn to St. Patrick, accepting the gospel. We honor St. Patrick, a patron who taught us what your kindness, what God's kindness has done. So, St. Patrick, how he came to Ireland. Yeah, so I'll make some videos in the days to come on Britain and Ireland and France. Those are the next three countries I want to focus on, I think. So now I want to talk about America, dear friends. America has done great, and America takes great steps to end religious freedom all around the world. If religious persecution is to end by 2030, um, America will have a great role in that. Now, the next point is America defeated ISIS, right? America defeated ISIS. I could add Al Qaeda also. Al Qaeda was another great terrorist organization threatening the whole world, threatening not just one country or not just America. They know if they want to succeed in the world, they have to succeed against, they have to defeat America. That's why they attacked America on 9/11. And they woke up the sleeping giant. Till then, America was very liberal. The day after 9/11, the month after 9/11, all Americans went on their knees. They went to churches, 80-85% or even more. There was almost a religious revival. There could have been. God can bring good out of evil sometimes. There was great evil on 9/11, but people realized, no, okay, all threats have not ended. That's what they thought after communism, after World War II, after Pope St. John Paul II and President Reagan defeated communism. They thought, okay, communism is ending, not a big deal, but they didn't realize. They didn't realize there is still radical Islamism. There is still threats. There are still threats to humanity, right? It's not about one's religion, but it's about how one treats others. It's what God also sees. That's why God's second greatest commandment after love God is love your neighbor as you love yourself. We'll all be judged by that commandment. No one can say, I don't know to love. I don't know I should love others. If you heard this video even once, you know. If you read the Bible even once, you know. Loving others is written on our hearts. Love others. Judgment will be good if you have loved God and loved others. Jesus said, whatever you do to the least of these, you do to me. Whatever you do to the least. Show to the least love, you showed it to him. You show them hatred, you showed it to God. And God will avenge it. Don't turn your loving father into a stern judge, because he can be a strict king and a stern judge. He wants to be a loving father and a wonderful savior. He wants to save us and to heal us and to redeem us and to deliver us and to forgive us. That's why he came to earth. And that's what he wants. So America yeah, ISIS said today there is one nation that carries the flag of the cross more than any other nation, and it is America. They knew America was their greatest opponent, their greatest enemy, and after America came to defeat them, they lost. And Al Qaeda, Bin Laden, in fact, said, you know what he said? He said, if you form a caliphate now, which he wanted to do, the enemy will topple it down very easily. And he knew, and he was right. And ISIS did this later on. And the day President Trump came into office, ISIS must have known its days were numbered. And Trump said also, I will crush ISIS, and he did it also. Never attack a legitimate government as an elected government, especially wherever it is. Elected government is completely different. A terrorist organization, which is dreaded by people, that is against whom a war is legitimate and just. And yeah, so they welcome you. When you do go and liberate people like that, they welcome you as liberators. And many people in Iraq and elsewhere welcome the American forces, not while they were invading Iraq, but when they were defeating ISIS. Yes, they were liberators, because ISIS did this horrible things, horrible indecent things, especially to women. They believe in sex slavery, concubinage, and other extremely, extremely offensive and evil and wicked things. They do it left and right and center, and nobody can stop them. Once they get the police and all under their thumb, nobody can stop them. That's why force is necessary against toughness is necessary against bad people like this. So ISIS is gone now. ISIS is crushed. ISIS is virtually history, and America gets credit for that. So America deserves credit for all the good it has done. All the mistakes it has made, there should be reflection for that. And in the future, it should never be repeated. This is the clear guidance I can give. Never ever attack a legitimate government, unless that government perhaps is invading your country. Other than that, no government, whatever, however much you disagree with it, use diplomacy, use the other modern means of dealing with such problems. But only against a terrorist group like ISIS, Al Qaeda, etc., then violence and force and etc. is justified. It's that simple. America has great potential to help, point 4 and 5. I think I'll close in under 10 minutes or 10, 20 minutes. America has great potential to help end world poverty by 2030. America's economy, as I said, is $22 trillion. And just there was an estimate recently that $1 trillion will be enough to end world poverty. And that's just one country. America and India together can end world poverty. Why don't we give $500 billion each and end poverty? We can do it. Or America could give 800 trillion, we can give 200 trillion, right? We can do it together. Let's have a joint initiative. Indian poverty first, American poverty next. And Trump praised India's efforts to eradicate poverty, which have been good, especially during the Manmohan Singh government. I'm a great supporter and defender of Manmohan Singh, Harvard-educated economist who rebuilt our country, who reshaped our country, who gave us 10% economic growth, who uplifted and elevated crores of people from poverty. We have made good progress, which in the last few years it has gone back somewhat, but we need more progress. I'll make a future video on Nyai. Nyai is Nyuntya Murjana scheme, and I believe Nyai can help save India. That I'll try to do tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm on leave by God's grace. That's why I'm a little free today. I'll try to do that tomorrow. Nyai can definitely help save India, but yeah. So America and India should work together to end poverty. That's my next thing. India, we can do it. Definitely, we can do it. Let's not say we cannot. We should not. The Bible speaks of a 1,000-year reign of peace. Some say it's not 1,000 year literally, but it is maybe 100 years or so, which is fine. But it's still a reign of peace. Christ will reign from heaven, and there will be peace on earth, right? And some say it is entirely figurative. I don't believe it is entirely figurative. It speaks at least of some kind of reign of peace. What God wants to usher us is things will get better one day. Don't always be. Some people are always despairing, always pessimistic, always negative. Things will never get better. Things will always be bad. No. Antichrist will come. Okay, Antichrist will come. But first, it is written in the Bible, Antichrist will not come. The gospel has been preached in all nations. Still, 2 million people have not heard the 2 billion people have not heard the gospel. So the Antichrist will not come yet. He may have started to come, but he has not fully come, and he won't fully come till gospel is preached. Good news is shared everywhere. And, spreading the gospel includes uplifting poverty. Bible says, God said in the Bible, there should be no poor person among you. Then your nation will be blessed like no other nation will be blessed. You will lend to many others and borrow from none. There should be no poor person among you. You should freely give all that is necessary to uplift uplift the poor and to eradicate poverty. You can do that. You should do that. God commands it to all nations. Blessed is the nation that obeys the counsel of the Lord, the command of the Lord, and eradicates poverty. That's why we should. It is part of missionary work to eradicate poverty. This is why, dear friends, this is why love of money is the root of all evil, it is written in the Bible. Instead of loving money, you love people, world will come up in no time. World will, all our problems will end. Think how many people are waiting for us, how many people are suffering and dying on our streets. There is feces on the streets, there is shit, and there is all kinds of evil. And there is threats. When you don't have shelter, your life can be so hard. We have to go. We have to help all of them. We have to bring all the poor into into our into our homes and or into homes, especially for the poor. We have to help all sick and suffering people. We can do it. Gospel can do it. That is the power of the gospel to change lives. It's not just some words on a paper, right? It is the living written word of God, and it changes lives. It changes real lives of real people. It's done it for 2,000 years. It's changed 2.5 billion lives at least. In the course of history, it may have changed 10 billion lives or more, or probably more. That is the power of the gospel, and we should show that gospel in our love and actions, not just in our words. That's why for Christmas I gave biryani to 10 poor children. I want to do things like that always. And I want others to do it. And I want thousands of us to do it of whatever our faith. Just imagine we can buy biryani and give so easily for 1,000 rupees. We can buy so much. How much we can eat. There is a limit to how much we can eat, but there's no limit to how much we can give others. Buy what people need. Let them eat nicely for a day. Let them eat biryani. Let them eat ice cream. All the things we want for ourselves, right? Chicken only for ourselves. Chicken only for biryani only for ourselves. Buy for others. Buy good food. Buy good clothes. Buy good books. Help others. Bless others. Educate others. Uplift others. Why I'm doing all this for free? Why I'm doing it on a difficult day? Because it's important, dear friends. Because God blesses it. Because God loves it. God wants it. This is missionary work. This is the work that will change the world. It's what I'm most passionate about. I want to change the world. I want to have an impact. Please subscribe to my channel. Follow me. Share my videos. Together we'll do it. Together we'll reach the world. We'll reach India. We'll avoid World War III before it begins. We'll spread awareness everywhere. Peace. We need peace, freedom, mutual love, tolerance, prosperity. We need prosperity in our country. America has been a great force for good of the whole. On the whole, there is no doubt. 250 years. It's going to celebrate 250 years. As just we are celebrating 75 years of India's independence this year. America is going to celebrate 250 years in 2026, I think. There's no doubt those 250 years have been good years for America and for the world because of America. On the whole, there's no doubt. Some people are anti-America because one or two mistakes America has made, leftists and liberals. And because of that, there's no doubt that America on the whole has been good for the world. Right? So if you want to go to America, work hard, uplift America. You're going there should be to uplift America, not just to uplift yourself or enrich yourself. Right? That's the difference. And that's what I want my students to do. And those I'm teaching and training, these American exams, if you clear them, you have a good chance. If you want to go to America, they will happily welcome you because you'll be able to solve problems for them. They also have poverty. It's not that only in India there is poverty. They also, we think they are a very rich nation. They are, of course, about 10 times richer than us. But they also have poverty. Yes, poverty, because economics alone cannot end poverty, dear friends. God has made it that way. God wants that charitable heart. Okay, business is different, charity is different. If you do business well itself, you'll help bring many people out of poverty. I said no 10% economic growth, which Manmohan Singh brought to us. If only Manmohan Singh could be Prime Minister again. But Rahul Gandhi will be almost like Manmohan Singh. That's why I support Rahul Gandhi. That's why I support Nyai. It will be 10 more years of Manmohan Singh. 10% growth rate. Just imagine, India will go to nowhere. India will go so high. If you want to double, there's a rule of 72 investors who know this very well. If you want to double your economy, you need about 72. That is 10% growth rate for about 7 years. That is double. I want 10% growth rate for 10 years. How much is that? 1.1 power 10. I'm sure will it be around 2.5? 1.1 power 10. Yeah, 2.6. India economy today, India GDP is 2.62 lakh trillion crore earlier. Okay, some show it as 3 trillion. Let it be 2.5 lakh crore. So India will grow to at least at least 7 trillion by 2030, 2033. I want India to reach at least $10 trillion by 2033. I know India can. For that, we need a good government, good education. All our MPs, all our qualified officials, all our government officials should be well educated, should be well qualified. There should be minimum educational requirements. There should be decency requirements. There should be, then only there should be a real meritocracy. Right now, we don't have a real meritocracy. That's why our company in our government companies are doing so well. Indians are on the top today. Only I read Sundar Pichai, IBM, Alphabet, Google, Microsoft, all these companies, Satya Nadella, Parag and Twitter, all have Indian CEOs. All are doing very very well. Why don't we have the best Indians in the government? I'm telling you, Rahul Gandhi is one of the best of the best. He'll be Manmohan Singh too or Rajiv Gandhi too. He would be the best of the best prime ministers India has had. We need him in our government, and we need Nyay. Nyay is 6,000 rupees per poor family for 25 crore poor people from 5 crore poorest families, which will cost only 30% of GST collection, which is so easily affordable. And if we have that, dear friends, India will change. In 5 years, India will change. We will have 10% growth. We will eradicate poverty. We will solve all our problems. You should call government. I'll happily go and give advice for the freest of the free to the government. Call the best and the most educated consultants and financial professionals in India. Ask what can we do, what changes can we make to bring money into our country. Solving problems, we all think in terms of money, right? Solving problems can save us millions of dollars or crores and crores of rupees, lakhs of crores it can save us. That's what we need. We need to use our education and our talents. It's impossible to put a monetary value on education. You may have spent lakhs or even crores for your education. If you can save that crores for your country and for your nation and your people, you have done something which no money can buy. You've done something so great. Combine business and charity. Combine business and charity. Do business with a charitable heart and uplift the poor. Uplift all India. That's what we should do, right? America's pro-life convictions. America has great potential to end world poverty, and America is also pro-life. And I'm telling you, the pro-life movement is going to succeed. Whoever may be in government, into the whether it is a pro-life or an anti-life power party in government, the pro-life movement is very strong. It's only getting stronger every year. If you follow it closely, more and more and more pro-life people come, and I would estimate 120 million people at least, more than sufficient to win elections and to be a majority, are pro-life in America out of 330 million, right? So it's only going to get stronger. It's going to be a global wave now. God has given us the internet. We can follow what's going on in other countries, and we can start similar movements in our own countries. And I'm telling you, after America, India is going to come up very strongly in the pro-life movements. No doubt about it. India's religious scriptures condemn abortion. And this is where World War III is being fought now. World War IV or V, if you want, you can call it. But this is what World War III is. With millions of children dying from abortion. UN does some good. They feed the poor and all, but they promote abortion. They're very radical abortionists. UN. That is why one reason between. See, just look at one thing. UN health experts condemns US over threat to abortion rights. Look how they're fighting against America. So, but they know they cannot so easily fight against America because America is one of the only nations, and India should have a role on the Security Council and the US in the UN. India should become one of the permanent members of the UN. Also, that we should ask our American friends to advocate for us, and they will also because they are great supporters of freedom. They supported India's freedom. They advocate against Britain. No, no, you should not dominate and subjugate others. You should give freedom to all, and that's one reason we gained our freedom. Now America can fight against US. That's why against the UN. That's why the UN also they want they of course support the pro-abortion party, not the pro-life party. But the people whom the abortionists cannot pervert, the people now support the pro-life parties. And that's why America represents one of the great hopes of the world today. It's a dark and dismal night here today, not just here in India, but throughout the world because people are suffering and dying. America represents the best hope of the world. I posted on a forum also recently. I got some attacks on that because I'm not even an American, but I'm speaking like that. But I know because I know what I'm speaking because I have researched it well, and it's very important, dear friends. It's very important. Yeah, March for Life. We are the pro-life generation. Yeah, I love them both. This is what I posted. As a non-American, I'm open about who I am. But they were all amazed because they say you're more nationalistic, you're more patriotic than many Americans. And some people told me, don't make this video. People won't understand what you're saying. But okay, I'm making and let people understand what they will. Let me post what I shared and let me share the video link also. Uh, As a non-American, when I see a video like this, my heart weeps for joy, and I know without a shadow of a doubt that Judeo-Christian America is the hope of the world, the hope of defeating communist abortionist terrorism, and that abortion can end not only within America but worldwide, thanks to God, a lady and pro-life Christian America. As America liberated Europe during World War II, America can liberate the world from communism, abortion. As we know, legal abortion started in the communist USSR. Lady will defeat communism, ergo our lady will defeat abortion. Oremus. Oremus means let us pray. Um, some people criticized Judeo-Christian. Why Judeo-Christian? We are Christian, not Judeo-Christian, because some Jews have promoted abortion, which we know. That is not an issue actually. But there are many Jews who oppose abortion also. There are liberals everywhere. Even among Christians, there are liberals. Then I said, I'm a non-American commenting on America as I see it. And yes, I know the role some Jews played in promoting abortion in America. I'm not speaking of that when I say Judeo-Christian. I'm speaking of Saint Abraham, Saint Moses of Israel, Saint David of Israel, Saint Isaiah of Israel, Saint Jeremiah of Israel, Saint Zechariah, both of them of Israel, Saint Malachi, Saint John the Baptist is of Israel, etc. And I could have said Saint Peter of Israel, Saint Paul of Israel, so many. So our faith comes from Israel. That's why Christians love Israel and support Israel so much. But we should also know there are still bad forces fighting against promoting abortion in the world today, and UN is one of the worst offenders in that respect. Just because the UN has influence doesn't mean the UN is very great and all, because it's not doing what God wants. That's what, right? God gives the authority to the UN. The UN should, thou shalt not kill. The UN should keep the commandments of God. If you keep the commandments of God, God will honor and respect you. If you don't keep, how will you get honor and respect from God? So stand against abortion. God will bless you also. God will bless you, the UN. You have so much influence. If you taught the world that abortion was wrong, the world would recognize it. So convincing the UN is like saving the world. Right? We have to win the battle in America also, but also all across the world. And dear friends, fight. I love and respect you for freedom, fighting for freedom, for the world's freedom, for children's freedom. But fight like those who believe we can win. So many times when I speak to my American friends, we have lost. Oh, it's all over. Trump lost. That's it. We all lost. Oh, what if Trump didn't win now? In 2024, he will win. Why he can't win now? There's so many millions of pro-life Christians. I know he can win and he will win. Even if they cheat a little, which the opponent party may do, it doesn't matter. You can win. You can get 150 million votes, 120 million. I'm sure there are pro-life voters in America already. Get 150 million votes. Be pro-life and strongly and staunchly pro-life. Go through all your states. Politics is a great opportunity to visit all around your country. I want to visit all Indian states, all 36 Indian states and union territories. I want to promote pro-life values here in India. Right, by 2024, I want the government, whichever party, say because of our cultural, religious, spiritual, moral values, we oppose abortion strongly. Right? And laws are one thing. Maybe we can have laws, maybe we won't be able to have laws, but at least we can speak out against abortion. And at least we can change hearts. Changing hearts is many times more important than changing laws. Laws can always be changed by man to reflect God's law, but more a man or woman to reflect God's law. So many women are against abortion. I salute you, my sisters. I commend you, Mary Behna. You must speak against abortion. It's very evil. A man saying will not have so much authority and influence. Woman saying abortion is evil, abortion kills my child. Right? You can say, and a man can never say, I know my child's heart beat within my heart, within your body. Right? You should. Right? Then people know. Men and women should stand as brothers and sisters against this communist terrorism that wants to kill our children. Name the enemy. Because we don't name the enemy, we don't win. Communist terrorism has been persecuting 2 billion children worldwide, beginning in America at least in 1973. And telling you these next 10 years are going to be years by God's grace of blessing, of prosperity, of victory, of defeating communism, of defeating abortion. I believe it can happen. Believe it, pray for it, work for it. Continue fighting. Right? We need 500 million educated Indians knowing that abortion is gravely wrong. Nobody will be able to stand against us after that. And everyone will know, and they will convert, and they will recognize that abortion is wrong, just like the world is recognized that slavery is wrong, right? Okay, it was a peaceful, non-violent movement. We Indians are Gandhians. We always follow Mahatma Gandhi's violent, ahimsa, non-violent, ahimsa strategy, ahimsa pro-life convictions, right? Do no harm to anyone, especially other innocent, suffering human beings. Last point is America is a great ally for India, and America-India alliance can save the world from World War III before it begins. It would be great to have in writing a formal America-India alliance. America and India can do so much good for the world. We can end abortion, we can end poverty, we can promote peace and blessings and prosperity and advantages for all, and we can bring prosperity and peace and freedom to the whole world. Okay, so that's what I want for the world, and it's about 1 hour 30 minutes. It's been a good video. I'm feeling very tired. It's about 2:30 here in India, 2:30 a.m. on February, the night of February 2nd, and February 3rd is almost begun. And so, dear friends, I want to say an American-India alliance can save the world. India alliance, we could call it. We can save the world, and especially from abortion, the world needs saving. After abortion, from poverty, we can save it through education, through hard work, They're good, decent, devout, and moral, religious, spiritual values. And we should, we must end abortion, right? That's the calling of our generation. I could have another video just on that. Let's see later on. Tomorrow I'm on leave by God's grace, but I am going somewhere. I am going to another state or to another city. So I don't know if I'll have time, but let's see. If I get time, I will. If I get time, I will try to have more videos, educational videos. Speaking of some of these issues. God bless you. Good night. Jai Hind. God bless America. The end.